Howdy. I'm going to keep checking my phone while I do this because one of the goals of this was one take, and I've already ruined that because it just stopped recording my voice memo. So I'm just going to keep making sure it goes. But my name is Matt, and I am 23, almost 24 years old. And this is going to be kind of my live journal, I guess. Feels kind of weird because I'm repeating myself because I already recorded this once, but I'm just going to keep going with it. So this is an attempt for me to get out of my comfort zone and to have a way to do kind of a creative outlet. I say creative outlet. It's not like I'm going to be sitting here and editing this and using a really nice camera. I think there's probably a lens flare from the sun because I'm using a camcorder from like 2004. But I really want to have a way to express myself, and I just felt like I should do this. I've always kind of wanted to be a YouTuber. When I was a kid, I wanted to so bad, and so I would play Minecraft on my mom's laptop. It was huge, like 16-inch HP Pavilion, I think, and I would have my phone or my iPod Touch. I didn't have a phone in between my knees, and I'd sit back like this, and I'd reach my hands around underneath me and play Minecraft, and that's how I would record because I didn't have a tripod or anything to prop my phone up. I'm sure I probably could have found a more elegant solution, but that to me as a child seemed very smart. And I would upload those to a YouTube channel called Crafting Halo because I loved Minecraft and I loved Halo, and I figured I would corner the market on people who love Minecraft and who love Halo. And that's not around anymore, but all that to kind of say that's not what this is for me. I don't want to be a YouTuber. I don't want to be a celebrity or anything like that. This is just a way for me to express myself. And I am putting this on YouTube not in the hopes that people will find it, but more in the hopes that it's a way for me to get out of my comfort zone. I'm a pretty socially anxious person. If you know me, I can talk and talk and talk. But if I'm put in a new situation, or especially a group situation with people I don't really know, I just clam up. I'm just silent because I'm afraid of saying the wrong thing and that people won't like me or that I won't be funny. And so this is an attempt for me to talk to more people, I guess. It's not necessarily talking to people because it's a camera and cameras aren't people, but it is kind of the same thing in my mind. Recording something, putting on the internet for other people to see is pretty scary. There's a guy walking by and he's kind of looking at me, which is funny. And again, that's something that in the past I would have just clammed up and tried to hide what I was doing. But this is an attempt for me to get out of that. A little intro to me, I guess. I am, like I said, about to turn 24. I got married a little under 2 months ago to the love of my life, my wife, who is phenomenal and who treats me just way better than I deserve to be treated. I have a good job that I really love. I work in computers and cybersecurity. And yeah, I really love to cook. I'm trying to learn that right now. In college, I was a ramen and buttered noodle person. And I've always been pretty picky, so I'm trying to branch out from that. I get home before my wife does most days, and so I'll try to cook her something. My signature dish right now is orange chicken. I always thought it was really hard to make orange chicken. I really liked it from like Panda Express or whatever. But I found a guy on Instagram who just makes like super easy food, and orange chicken was like 4 steps. There's some ball knowledge. Orange chicken's super achievable. That's why it's my signature, because it's not that hard. But I've been really enjoying that. I've been trying to learn how to program. I know a little bit. Like I said, I work with computers, and I took some programming classes in college, but I would consider myself like barely past beginner. And so I'm trying to learn how to do that. And that's kind of twofold in that it will help me with my job, which is awesome. But two, it is something that I live in an apartment, so I can't like get a miter saw and a bunch of wood and try carpentry or whatever. Not that I'd be any good at that either. But it's kind of a way for me to build stuff and do things do things I think are cool. I'm really into computers. I think computers are really sick. I'm sure at some point that I will record this inside when it's not so cold, or when it gets colder, I guess. And at that point, I'll probably have some computers around me. This, like I said, is an attempt for me to express myself and to have somewhere to just kind of spew. It's just a journal. It's just a journal. But it's a video journal instead of writing. And I think that's because it's a lot more raw. I think it'll probably be pretty cool for me to look back on this when I'm like in my 30s. Although it may actually just be horrifying and cringe, which I think it's kind of horrifying and cringe right now. So I can't imagine what I'm going to think with 10 years of hindsight. But some goals with this are to do this every day for maybe a week to a month at least, and see how I feel about that. No guarantees, but I'm going to try my hardest to do that, even if it's just on my phone and not with all this crap. And then attempt number 2 is going to be one take. I've already failed that because this stopped recording my voice memo the second I turned my screen off, which seems like an oversight, but that's all right. But most days I'm going to try not to have a bunch of cuts, not to have a bunch of editing, not to have anything but a raw stream of consciousness, because this is a journal. It's not meant to be entertaining. It's not meant to be for anyone but me. And so if I make it very flashy, I feel like that kind of defeats the point. And so who cares if it's a stream of consciousness? The only person that cares is me, and I care in a good way. I like that. I want it to be that. Yeah, I think that's all I've got. If someone does happen to find this, and you're not like me, I have watched probably more YouTube than anything else I've ever done in my entire life. And I've never commented. It was kind of my point with that. So if you're not like me and you find this and you want to comment or something, just introduce yourself. We'll do like the college icebreaker. What's your name? Where are you from? And what are you interested in? What do you like to do for fun? I'll start again. Matt from Texas, and I really like computers, and so there's the start of the icebreaker. I was in college, had to wait for someone else to do it first before I could because I had social anxiety. So I did it first. I don't have any hopes for anyone finding this or putting comments, nor do I really want anyone to find this. But just in case, I figured I'd throw that in there. Thank you for listening to me. And I'll see you tomorrow.